What up? It's Inflammable. I can say my name today. Yay! It's been a while. What, like a week, which is not really long. I've just been busy doing my new fic, which is a Cardia Academy. And I'm enjoying creating that whole situation. Haven't done a Megaverse before, but here we are doing a Megaverse. Look, it's going okay. I don't know. I'm happy with it. Cool. So today we're going to read chapter 5 of Deeper Water, which is called The Rescue. And from memory, I really like this chapter. Definitely lied in the notes when I said that the sunburn was not bad, because it was actually pretty fucking bad. Because our cabin was right across from the beach. It was like this little road that was not even a road, like single lane, just pebbly, kangaroos all over it. And I literally could just walk out my front door and walk across the road and go to the beach. So, of course, I was there 6 times a day. Didn't reapply my sunscreen and got pretty burnt. Anyway, you're not here for that. Before I get started though, I'm really, really excited because Rocky sent me some photos of a hot lifeguard, and he's actually pretty good. He's ready, hang on. Oh, where am I? There we go. Look at this. Ready? Ooh-ah. Do you think that's Craig enough? We've got the black hair, the eyebrows are pretty spot on. Just imagine the eyes are different, but hello, that's pretty good. And this is obviously the seller, this is telling you he's a lifeguard, kinda, maybe. I don't think they wear wetsuits here, but maybe they do overseas, I don't know. But look at that bod, That wasn't an appropriate reaction, was it? I could have done better. I'm just mindful that there's kids around. Okay, I'm going to read now. Shh. All right. Tweek really had to psych himself into his beach walk on Friday morning. He was greatly flustered at himself. He told himself that any other normal person would feel confident about how things were going if they were in his shoes right now. The entire week's interactions with the lifeguard, who was now known as Craig, were positive, successful, a good sign. So why couldn't Tweek shake off this negative internal monologue? That annoying voice in his head kept reminding him that just because Craig was going to be was being nice to him, it did not prove that Craig was interested in men, or more importantly, in Tweek. The voice kept asking Tweek what a gorgeous specimen like Craig would even see in Tweek. Surely Craig could have anyone he wanted. Why had he appeared so fascinated in Tweek from day one? Surely it was that Craig felt pity for Tweek. Maybe Craig could sense from a mile away that he was a nervous, anxious dork and he appeared lost or something. Craig probably doesn't see that much of that. Surely beachgoers are confident and can swim. They can surely walk through ankle-deep water without falling on their ass. Gee, I don't know. I think I've fallen on my ass before doing that, but anyway. But then there was the way Craig looked at him. Oh, I can imagine. Oh my God, that's meant to be the... Fuck's sake. I'm sorry. The way he seemed flustered and somewhat nervous himself talking to Tweek. Tweek knew he didn't imagine that. When Tweek touched Craig to apply the aloe or the sunscreen, he felt Craig's muscles tense and he could tell Craig liked it. He certainly didn't shy away from that particular part of the interaction. He had still not told Kenny about any of this. Although Kenny was his best friend and he loved him dearly, Tweek's own annoying internal voice was enough without Kenny's annoying external voice being heard on top of it. Kenny would have an absolute field day if he learnt that Tweek not only knew Craig by name now, but was also talking to him and applying creams and lotions on his back. Kenny would definitely invite himself on the morning beach walks again to observe and probably make Tweek look more foolish again. Kenny couldn't help when it came to that stuff, especially when Tweek rarely had any news to share about his love life. It was a lovely sunny morning. There was a gentle breeze blowing through as Tweek reached the beach. The water looked crystal clear, the sky had beautiful hues of orange and yellow, and there was several seagulls happily occupying the almost empty beach. And Craig was putting up the flags for the morning, shirtless. Tweek couldn't believe this. As much as he loved to gawk at Craig's masterpiece of a torso, he was astounded that he hadn't taken his advice of wearing his lifeguard shirt to protect him from the sun. Does he not realise his skin will be red and tender for several days until it gets better? Did he not listen to anything Tweek said? Probably not. Reminding himself that he is a concerned stranger and not Craig's mother, he sighed and shook his head as he drew closer to Craig. "Hey," Craig greeted him the moment Tweek was within earshot. Tweek took a breath. "Calm, zen Tweek. Eyes above the pecs. No, not lower to the abs. Higher." "Hi, Craig," he said finally, doing his best to brush aside his spiraling internal panic. "How's the sunburn?" "Oh, I think it's feeling better actually. What you did really helped, so thanks." Craig smiled, not removing his gaze from Tweek. "Did you reapply the aloe sunscreen yesterday?" Craig looked slightly guilty because he bit his lip and hesitated before replying. "Well, I couldn't by myself, so no. But I put my shirt on again after lunch." "Seriously?" Tweek thought. "Ugh, Craig, well, where is your shirt now?" Lifeguard tower?" Tweek just stared. Once again, I am not his mother. And by the way, I'm going to stop and say, "Hi, Mum. Mum from another country. Raven, hi." Anyway, sorry. He dropped his backpack wordlessly to the ground. "Here, turn around. I'll help you again, if you want. I mean, I don't have to. I'd like to. Can you tell me how it's looking today?" When Craig turned around without another word, Tweek frowned. "Pretty red and angry looking. Starting to peel." "Craig, it doesn't look much better. Stay still. Hang on." Tweek was careful. He was slow and he was gentle, a generous amount of aloe over the sore red skin. He didn't tell Craig that he had kept it in the fridge overnight, especially for Craig, so the coldness can soothe his skin even more. That's really sweet. "Wow, I didn't realise it was so bad until you put the gel on. That feels much better," Craig complimented when Tweek advised he was done. "Do you have aloe at home? I mean, do you have a girlfriend that can apply this for you, man?" Tweek couldn't believe he asked the question, but it was out there now. There was no taking it back. "I have aloe. I just don't have a girlfriend. I don't swing that way." Tweek took a moment to process the news. "He's gay? Hang on, I'm going to sip of wine with that. That's big news. Hang on. Okay, I'm good." "Well, okay then. Score one more for Tweek." What about a boyfriend then?" "No," Craig replied clearly, popping the P. Oops, I didn't pop it. Hang on. Is it like, nope? Anyway, his voice was upbeat and playful, almost like he was enjoying this. "A friend? Co-worker?" Tweek tried again. "There's Clyde, who is on shift change with me at 2, but he's an idiot." Tweek hummed. "He can't apply a cream? He can barely scratch his own ass." I'm sorry. I forgot that. Okay, I'm okay. Tweek giggled. "No, I'm not okay." Okay. At that moment, Craig turned around almost like he was trying to catch Tweek's amused facial expression. "You should ask him. And put a shirt on," Tweek ordered, though his voice was nervous and unsure. It was pretty weak It was a pretty weak attempt at ordering around a sexy stranger in his opinion. Wait, was he a stranger anymore? Tweek didn't know. Okay, Craig replied and smiled. Tweek returned it. It felt a little awkward. After a beat of silence, Craig spoke again. Do you have much on this weekend? Our friends from uni are getting together tonight for some get-together to try Australian food and drink. I am mostly going because I like to try new food and I need to make sure I return my roommate back to our apartment safely. That sounds fun. Don't try everything at once, all right? I don't think you could anyway. We probably have a lot here that you haven't seen or heard of before. Probably. Then I have a swimming lesson tomorrow. Oh, yeah, right. With that bogan-looking dude you were down here with last Friday, right? Who was he exactly? Tweek laughed nervously. Yep, last Friday. Seems Craig did overhear what Kenny and Tweek were talking about after the incident. Bogan? Tweek inquired. Oh, sorry. Craig must have realised Tweek did not know the term. It's a word we use here to describing people who are, let's say, not proper. Like, they are casual in a way they dress and behave. Okay, I guess that's Kenny. He's my best friend since kindergarten and he's my roommate. He talked me into coming here and doing this with him. Craig chuckled. Really? I wouldn't have picked him as your best friend. You both seem so different from each other, like an odd couple. I guess we are. As kids, we were pretty similar. As we grew older, we became more different than one another. But we stayed best friends. He seems dense, but he's actually really smart. Like, not just book smarts, but street smarts. He made it out of a lot of tight situations before. He means well. He really does. He just likes having a good time, I guess you would say. Craig smiled. Any good as a swimming teacher? Tweek scoffed. No, but I'm giving him one last chance tomorrow. If I come by Monday, you will know I didn't drown. Craig chuckled. Tweek really liked his laugh. It was masculine and deep, but had a sing-song quality to it. And the smile that went with it was to die for. Bet it was. Tweek could tell it was a genuine smile and that Craig was not putting it on. Craig's smile lit up his whole face. His eyes seemed to sparkle. Tweek also noticed he had straight teeth, like he'd had orthodontic work. Let me know if it doesn't go well and you fire him, okay? Tweek responded with a laugh. Yeah, sure. They eyed each other nervously for a moment. I better go. Tweek broke the silence. Enjoy your weekend. Are you doing much? Probably just seeing my mates. Catch up on sleep. Might try harder to heal the sunburn by Monday. I will even let you check the progress first thing when you come past. Tweek smiled. Go get your shirt, Craig. It will help stop it getting worse. UV is dangerous. You don't want skin cancer. That would be terrifying. Craig smiled wider at Tweek. I'll go get it now, okay? Tweek nodded. Good. Bye, Tweek. See you, Craig. Tweek stormed out of the public pool entrance on Saturday afternoon with Kenny hot on his heels. He was in such a rush that he remained wrapped in a towel and barefoot, carrying his bag in one hand and shoes in the other. Tweek, wait! Tweek slowed and rolled his eyes. He could never stay angry at Kenny for too long. He was just mad about the series of events that occurred back at the pool. Kenny, you are going to kill me, I swear to God, he fired out. He stopped under a tree in the car park and faced Kenny, who looked sheepish and apologetic. Dude, I'm sorry, okay? I just taught myself to swim over the years, you know, from sneaking in the public pool and with some of the neighbour kids, and from swimming in Stark's Pond. I never taught my siblings to swim either. I just thought you'd take to it. You never came to any of the aquatic stuff growing up. You didn't learn when you were young. Because I wasn't allowed to. I wasn't allowed to do much at all, as you very well know. And my age makes no difference. It shouldn't make a difference, no. Kenny scratched his head. You just need practice, man. It obviously does not come naturally for you. What? Does it come naturally to anyone? Tweek felt hysterical. Well, yeah, babies can do it. No, they fucking can't. Sorry. They need practice is what I mean, like lessons. Well, mine did anyway. No, they very much cannot do it, man. Here we go. Here he explains it. They go to many lessons and take their time. You're putting too much pressure on me to be good at something I've never done before. It's not what I meant to imply when I said that I suck at it. Yeah, I do. Gah! And it doesn't help when you can't tell me how to move my arms or kick and I'm so out of sync that I literally sink. I am going to die, Kenny. Kenny chuckled and took Tweek into his arms and rubbed his back. Relax, Kenny soothed. I'm sorry for what I said, okay? I guess I'm not a very good teacher after all. Tweek huffed and shook his head. No, you're not, he said honestly. Okay, well, let's just chill it on ice for a bit. See when you feel up to giving it another go. What did I do there? Was I drunk? I won't push, I promise. What about Monday? I'm freaking out. Tweek had learnt on Friday that he wouldn't be stuck in the lab all the time after all. Himself and Wendy were having a day outside the science centre with some of Kenny's crew to not only take samples of the marine environment, but also to reintroduce some specimens back into the ocean again. Tweek had, of course, panicked. Water. But both his supervisor and Kenny had assured him the water was shallow, that he would not be by any means swimming, knee-deep at most with others around to help. Tweek, I will get you a life jacket if I have to. Monday will be amazing. You will totally vibe it. Kenny was too nervous to say much else. Kenny clapped a hand on his shoulder. You will be fine. I promise. On Monday morning, Tweek felt very out of place. The prospect of working outside today in the elements made him dread even getting out of bed. The sun, the water, all things he felt could very likely kill him. The only constant he had in his routine this morning was seeing Craig on his beach walk. But when Tweek nearly got to the red and yellow flags, he immediately noticed that Craig was not the lifeguard on today. He frowned, genuinely disappointed. Hadn't Craig told him he would be there? Hadn't he made a remark about how Tweek could check his progress on his sunburn this morning? The man who was not Craig was moving the life raft. He looked young too and had brown hair and broad shoulders. Saddened by the absence of Craig, Tweek pressed on with his walk and gazed downward to continue his search for shells. He got the shock of his life when the lifeguard jogged up to Tweek and stopped beside him, then spoke. Hey, you Tweek? Tweek just gaped at him. Who are you? Who's asking? Why do you know my name? Gah! Yeah, Tweek replied nervously. The young man visibly relaxed. His eyes seemed wide and innocent, almost like puppy dog eyes. He had a boyish face and was shorter than Craig, but Tweek did appreciate that the guy knew how to wear a shirt. Craig says hi. He got reassigned to another patrol today. They needed someone who's a stronger swimmer, so they took their best, the man explained. He is super pissed off about it, mind you. Anyways, I'm Clyde. Yes, Craig mentioned you. How's his sunburn? Tweek asked. Good man. He told me you'd ask, and he told me to say good. Is it good, though? Tweek inquired suspiciously. I think, though, he hasn't been bitching about it. Right. Well, tell him I said hi, too, and that I hope he is here tomorrow. Tweek smiled. Clyde saluted in response. As Tweek walked away, he smiled. He felt a warmth through his chest and he felt giddy. Craig wasn't here and he had been talking to his colleague about him. And to boot, he had asked Clyde to pass on a greeting on to Tweek on his behalf. Tweek couldn't believe it. He felt very special indeed. With the knowledge that Craig was gay and single, fewer mysteries remained. Tweek was still certain that Craig couldn't possibly see anything in him, and he was still running with his theory that Craig felt sorry for him. The combination of Tweek being a tourist and also looking like a dog on the beach walks may have appealed to Craig's good nature. He met Wendy and the group in front of the science centre at the start of the shift. Tweek was already wearing what felt like a litre of sunscreen, as well as swimmer's hat, a shirt and his aqua shoes. He was relieved to observe that most of the group were also dressed in the same way. Wendy was wearing purple swim shorts and a long-sleeved sun shirt and a cap, and she greeted Tweek in a friendly manner when she turned up. Kenny and his group were already on the shoreline when the group headed down. Kenny was standing next to a smaller blonde girl and chatting away as the group neared. Tweek recognised her as Marge. He had seen a few photos that Kenny had showed off on his phone. The moment Kenny saw Tweek, he pounced. Tweakers, welcome! Hey, come here, quick, quick! Kenny was pushing Tweek to the blonde girl while Tweek struggled to keep his footing. This is Marge. Marge, this is my brother from another mother. Tweek! Marge smiled warmly. Hi, Tweek. I've heard so much about you from Ken here. He speaks so highly of you. So nice to finally put a face to the name. Tweek smiled nervously. Nice to meet you too. They soon got started. Tweek was in a group with his supervisor, Kenny, Kevin, and their supervisor. They walked further towards the opposite headland and past another red and yellow flagged swim area. There were many rocks, countless numbers that formed rock pools. Oh, I love rock pools. I love them. I love them. I love them. Tweek mostly stuck to the shoreline during the shift, ensuring that the samples were viable and storing them correctly. Kenny was clearly showing off for Marge, climbing over rocks like he was the leader and talking loudly as he pointed things out to Marge. They do look good together, Tweek thought. Towards the end of the day, Tweek was asked to assist at the rock pools. He trembled head to foot and stood at the shoreline. The waves looked larger than his early morning walks. He could see surfers out enjoying the conditions. He knew that when he walked past the red and yellow flagged area that there was a yellow warning flag and the words rips and strong current written up. Tweek, it's totally fine. See how shallow it is? Now, the trick is we don't step on anything. There's a lot of viable coral and anemones. God, that's hard to say. Go slow, going rock to rock. I'll be right here, okay? I can even go get a life jacket if you're worried. Tweek nodded vigorously. Yes, please. Tweek had a small bag and some tools and to take some anemones when instructed. They wanted to take them back to the lab and set different conditions to see how they adapt to change. Kenny took him further out on the rocks. Marge was close behind him as well as the supervisor. Tweek, there's a good one over there. Just follow me. God, Kenny, where's my life jacket? This is fucking insane. Tweek complained loudly. Okay, I'll deal with it. Let me just go to Marge for a few minutes. You go and see what's over there. What? No fucking way! Tweek called back over the sounds of the crashing water over the rocks. Tweek, just stay on the rocks. I'll be back, man. Tweek watched helplessly as Kenny walked away towards Marge and the supervisor, who were making their way across the rocks further around the headland. Zen. Just chill, Tweek. It's fine. Tweek took a deep breath and sighed. He dug his feet into crevices on the rocks to steady himself and gazed at the rock pool. He bent down to examine it, seeing beautiful colours of red and green and fish swimming in it. He heard a shout. He ignored it. He then heard a loud rumbling, the sound of fast approaching waves. He looked up and froze on the spot, mouth agape. A huge wave was approaching the rocks and Tweek was powerless to stop it. He had no idea what to do, so he instinctively held his breath and ducked low, hoping that it would just wash over him when it hit. The force of the wind blew around him and tossed him like a rag doll. He was submerged into the ocean, kicking madly and holding his nose to hopefully be brought to the top. Then he felt further rushes of water gush past him. He was pushed further down. He now used his arms and tried to propel himself up, up, up. He kicked furiously and registered that all he could see was white, blue and brown from the rushing water. He could see light above him at the surface as he was tossed around, but it seemed hopeless to reach it. He was choking, gasping for air. He kept fighting. His eyes felt like they were popping, and so he started to see stars. That was it. Kenny has killed him. The waves tossed him again. Once he slowed his gaze, he gazed up to the surface, which felt miles away, sweet shimmering light that he couldn't reach. The surface of the water broke above him and he saw red and yellow, then a hazy figure of a man. Tweek's vision was blurred as he watched a long tanned arm and large hand extend out in front of him. Hazy, dizzy, drained, no fight left. Tweek blinked deliriously. Then he knew no more. Don't worry, he's not dead. Because obviously there's another 30 chapters or something. What is it? Yeah, something like that. Close enough. I'm rounding down. So yeah, that's it. Hope you enjoyed the video. I do want to do the next one soon. And yeah, I'll see you later. Bye.